Treyarch recently dropped a ton of information around the tomb, including gameplay in a recent trailer and a lot of information inside the most recent Call of Duty blog post. In this video, we're going to be covering all that in detail, so let's get into it. Now, if you want to watch the full trailer yourself with all the sound and everything, I'm going to link it down below so you can see everything for multiplayer that's coming, but I want to focus obviously on everything that's coming into zombies, and there really isn't a whole lot of time in the trailer for that. What you can take away from it is the experience we're going to have, which is very different from the other maps we've been on so far. You could definitely see the zombies models are very, very different, including this metal gladiator zombie. We also have doppelgas, amalgams, and the mimic returning inside this map as well. The ice staff looks amazing as well in this short gameplay, and of course I'm going into more detail throughout this video about all these things. Now, while the trailer is nice to see the actual gameplay, we get a lot more information by looking at the Call of Duty blog post, and as you can see from the photos I'm sharing from the blog post, these different areas inside of the tomb really do look a lot more enclosed, like they had mentioned last week when they first introduced the tomb to us. They did mention this map was going to be very similar to Liberty Falls, so smaller rooms, smaller map more than likely. It's going to be a very interesting time for us to go through when we get to the main Easter egg. Now, of course, out of the entire map, there's two places that are really showcased that draw your attention. One is obviously the Dark Aether Nexus, which looks exactly like the Dark Aether we know and love, with some crazy designs inside of it. And if you look closely at one of the particular photos of the Nexus, you can see what looks like a fast travel point or just the entrance to this area. I'm hoping it's a fast travel point personally, but you can also see other structures that seem to be not activated just yet, just floating in this area. I honestly think this is going to be major parts of the main Easter egg because it looks like there's slots that we can enter stuff into those slots. Like the amulet we got at the end of Citadel Daymore looks like it could fit in some of those slots, but we're just gonna have to see what happens when we get onto this map. And the other room is the temple and deep excavation section. As you see, it looks very similar to the crazy place without all the crazy details that we had inside of Origins. But you can also see in the bottom right, you see one door that looks like it's red that has the same glow as the Dark Aether Nexus door has. And you also see a table with a glowing purple crystal. Now, obviously, I don't know what that's going to entail and what that's actually going to do inside of the map, but there's got to be a reason that they showcased this already in just the teasers. So overall, even though this is supposed to be a smaller, more enclosed map, some of these rooms look absolutely massive. So it's going to be interesting to see what it actually plays like when we get a hold of this map. Now, we of course have to touch on the fact that the ice staff is making a return to this map from Origins. It's just kind of poetry in motion. The tomb is obviously inspired by Origins a little bit and bringing back that wonderful wonder weapon, one of the 4 wonderful wonder weapons from the Origins map to this one. The tomb is just kind of awesome. Now, in the trailer, we got to see it actually in use. It looks awesome, just like we remember. A little bit of a touch up in the cosmetics, of course, but I bet we're also gonna see what it looks like when it's fully upgraded. Maybe we'll be able to pack a punch this one as well. We're just gonna have to see. It does seem to be confirmed in the trailer that more than one person can have the wonder weapon at the same time, which is awesome to see as well. In this short section of the trailer, you see Weaver holding a staff, and then right behind him you also see Carver wielding the staff. But in addition to doing frost damage in 2 different ways by the regular freezing burst and also an area of attack that you slam on the ground, it will also be able to revive teammates with a single restorative blast, which is awesome to see. So we can do damage in 2 different ways and also heal people. It is also mentioned in leak that it's supposed to have a couple healing orbs around it. It's not mentioned here inside the blog post, but we are confirmed that we get to revive our friends, which is awesome to see. Now, we know that the staff is going to be useful for the Easter egg in some way, shape, or form. How much of a use it's going to have is just going to have to be seen when we actually get the map. All I hope is that they don't make it super weak like some of the swords were on the first day of release. I hope they actually make it overpowered and then tune it back if they really want to. They also finally shared the brand new perk that is coming to this map, and it is Depth Perception, which at first, I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed that it was Depth Perception until I looked at the augments, and it honestly is probably pretty viable. As always, there are 3 major and 3 minor augments to each of the perks. The major ones are Treasure Hunter, Death Stare, and Critical Eye. Treasure Hunter spots items others can miss in loot containers as well from special and elite kills. Death Stare, your elemental weakness damage, has a chance to kill an enemy that has low health on it. And Critical Eye, a small chance that a body shot becomes a critical shot. All of these can be very useful in very certain situations. I'm really looking at Critical Eye. The minor augments are Bird's Eye View, Extra Change, and Further Insight. Bird's Eye View, the minimap scan rate is increased, which I think is great. Extra extra change finds extra essence under more locations, and further insight increases perception radius, so you can see further with the perception through the walls, see the enemies, stuff like that. I'm kind of looking at depth perception like we all did with Voltrade until we actually used Voltrade with the augments, and it was actually really useful, especially when dropping the ammo and points. I can see depth perception being the same way, but let me know what you guys think about it down below in the comments. We also need to talk about the elite zombie making a return in this map, the Mimic, and not just any Mimic, the Shock Mimic that we saw in MWZ, or the EMP Mimic as we remember it. Now it's going to do the same things we remember the Mimic doing, disguising itself as normal objects on the ground, but it's also going to distort your radar and your eyesight if you get hit by it in some way, shape, or form, which is going to be really annoying. You thought that the disruption to your eyesight with the Doppelgas was annoying? This is times 10. Now, breaking away from the annoying, shocking Mimic, let's talk about the brand new Gobblegums and some of the major quality of life stuff that they're going to be dropping with this map. Obviously, if you recognize this photo, you already know what's coming. 3 new and returning Gobblegums are going to be returning in Season 2, and obviously that previous photo was Quacknarok, which is a really fun one and one that was used in the past. If you don't know what Quacknarok does, just look at the previous photo. Every time you pop it, every zombie that runs at you is going to have a rubber ducky inner tube around it. Just fun to use. Now, the new ones part of this are Dead Drop, not to be confused with Dead Drops. Dead Drops increases the drop rate of salvage and equipment from zombies that you kill for 5 minutes, which is nice to see. And Modified Chaos is going to be really powerful in my opinion. It greatly reduces all ammo mod cooldowns, and this lasts for 2 minutes. So you can start frying things with Dead Wire and some of the really strong augments on there. Allow a bunch of different brain rot zombies to be running around at the same time. It's going to be really powerful, especially in boss fights. Overall, they're just Gobblegums. They're meant to enhance your gameplay and make it more fun. So you know I'm definitely going to be using Quacknarok as much as possible. Now, the major quality of life things that I'm going to be focusing on is definitely just the fact we can now track our camo challenges, which if you haven't gone through the Nebula grind yet, this is so needed and so wanted since the game came out. We're getting it now, so it's much easier for us to level up the new guns that are coming and get that Nebula camo much quicker. This tracking can also be used for any calling cards that you want, which is also nice. We now have co-op pause, which is awesome to see, and a very needed feature of AFK kick load recovery. If your game crashes or if you're AFK from your keyboard or controller for long enough and it kicks you out of the game, you load back in with all of your stuff, no questions asked. I know previously people would be kicked because they were gone too long and they'd have to come back in with a base loadout, which sucks. Again, very short and sweet, but stuff we definitely needed as soon as the game came out. I'm just glad we're getting it now and not never. Overall, this map and this season for zombies is shaping up to be better than the previous one, and that's a really high bar to hit in my opinion, because Citadel Daymore was a ton of fun to play. That being said, the fact we get to go and explore the Dark Ether, get the Staff of Ice back, and we get to use it in a new, unique way, going in another brand new, from the ground up main Easter egg, it couldn't get me more excited for Season 2 to drop. But as always in my videos, if you found this helpful, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and ring the bell so you're notified about all the Easter eggs that are said to be inside of the tomb. You won't want to miss any of them. Once again, I hope you guys found this helpful. I'll catch you guys in the next video.